What's going on, Green Teamers? We have some news for you on today's show on Neemias Queta and Joe Mazzulla and how Mazzulla has confidence in his potential starting center for the 2025-26 NBA season. We know Neemias Queta has been kind of dominating over in the EuroBasket circuit. That is all wrapped up now, and we're going to kind of get to what he had to say about he and Joe Mazzulla having a lot of contact this offseason. First, though, I got to remind you guys that we are inching closer and closer to the Celtics season getting underway. Noah Dalzell, shout out to her for this tidbit on Twitter. A little reminder that we are getting closer to the Celtics returning to the hardwood. 3 weeks away from the Celtics Media Day on September 29th. 1 month to the Celtics preseason opener on October 8th. And we are 6 weeks and change away from the Celtics opening night there on October 22nd. I'm fired up, and I can't wait for this Celtics season because, there's a lot of uncertainty, and there's question marks, and there's young players that could emerge as long-term fits and pieces on the Celtics roster. So this could end up being one of the more fun seasons in recent memory. If you guys are ready like I am and you want Celtics basketball to return, you're chomping at the bit, show me. Go down below and smash that thumbs up icon. Like today's video. Celtics basketball, it's right around the corner. All right, Neemias Queta just wrapped up a really great EuroBasket circuit after 5 games in group play and getting knocked out in the first game of the knockout stage to Germany. Portugal's EuroBasket circuit is over, but Queta did not leave that final game without his mark being left. His 18 points and 11 rebounds went up on the board in 27 minutes played. He had 3 stocks as well and continues to make plays on the defensive end on the interior. Active hands on that end is going to bode really, really well for him once he gets a bigger opportunity in the NBA. The efficiency wasn't all that great. 5 of 11 from the field, was 4 of 9 from 2-point range because he took 2 threes actually in this one, and he ended up nailing one of them. So maybe something that C's fans could see this season in small doses from Queta, extending his range a little bit. That'd be a big way for him to break out. Now, no other Portugal player, I want this to be noted, no other Portugal player had more than 8 points or more than 6 rebounds in that game against Germany. So it was literally the Neemias Queta carry job. I don't know how many times that's been said since he was playing at a high school or college level, but it was absolutely a Neemias Queta takeover in that game. It just wasn't enough. They actually were only trailing by 1 heading into the final period, and then Germany ended up winning the game by like 25. They went on a crazy run. Clearly, Queta couldn't do it all by himself. He needed some help, and the Portuguese guys, they just couldn't get it done. But shout out to Queta, who's been putting up some baller numbers this offseason because, it's a testament to him. Remember, he underwent knee surgery this offseason, some arthroscopic knee surgery, getting a little bit of stuff cleaned up there in his joints. And for him to be out there in August, September, playing these big-time games against European competition and some NBA players, that is really, really a positive sign for Celtics fans and great news overall heading into this season where he could probably, I'm going to say most likely, is going to be your starting center for the majority of games. Now, looking at Queta as well as through a wider lens here in group play in EuroBasket versus Czech Republic, I mean, my goodness, what a line that he had. He had the Czech announcers going crazy in that game, saying that the Czech Republic offenses weren't even taking the ball into the paint when Neemias Queta was standing there. 6 stocks in that one. I believe it included 4 blocks, 11 of 15 from the floor, 23 points, 18 rebounds, dominating performance. I'm not saying the Czech are any crazy competition, but that's a crazy stat line nonetheless. Serbia is where he struggled a little bit, but I'll say this. Serbia, in a game against Nikola Jokic, where he was kind of getting mashed up on, the league's best player for the majority of his minutes out there, to all 22, that is probably the most the game I take the most away from, and not because he had a lackluster stat line of 6 points, 2 rebounds, 2 blocks, not because of that, but because you're going to learn the most in that game. You probably would in a game against the Czech Republic where you put up 23 points and 18 rebounds. You kind of got worked by Nikola Jokic, and that shows you as a player the things that you need to work on more and more as you get more experience in the NBA in a bigger role. Turkey, that game, interesting. 15 points, 7 rebounds, 2 stocks. They got some good bigs over there in Turkey, so there's some solid matchup there, and Queta can be proud of that one. The Latvia game against Kristaps Porzingis put up 16 points, 7 rebounds. Gave Porzingis a little bit of work down there, down low. Had a block as well, and 7 of 12 from the floor. And then against Estonia in his final group play game, 15 points, 3 rebounds, 2 stocks, and 5 of 8 from the field. Now, during group play stages, as whatever it's called, Queta shot 2 of 7 from 3-point range there. So not the best efficiencies, but he was only taking about 1 or 2 a game during those 5 games. And who knows? That could be an element that he expands on this season. But it is a season of experimentation, so I wouldn't be too mad at seeing a couple of threes get launched by Neemias Queta, but I would temper my expectations on them going in more often than not. Now, my whole take to this whole situation is I'm really glad that Neemias Queta is getting this kind of tune up before the NBA season. Like I said, with him matching up against Nikola Jokic, like there were a good number of NBA players playing in EuroBasket this past month. So like it was awesome to see him get that kind of competition and just get more reps out there on the basketball court because he's not a guy who's been, the most experienced player throughout his NBA tenure so far. And Joe Mazzulla knows that. He said this earlier this year. He said he's one of those guys who doesn't know how good he can be. He hasn't been in the league a long time. He's only played like 300 minutes in the NBA, and he's starting to see when he plays with a certain presence, we are a different basketball team. Love that. Love that. It seems like Joe Mazzulla's got a decent bit of confidence in Neemias Queta, and this was way before the Celtics had even known that they were going to lose Kristaps Porzingis, Al Horford, and Luke Kornet this offseason. So a good vote of confidence going into this season. And look, Mazzulla has been in contact with Neemias Queta all summer. I think that's a great thing. You want to be instilling confidence in a player that you have kind of lined up for a big role this upcoming year. So it's good to kind of see that stuff coming from your head coach and a guy who you don't really see a lot of emotion of publicly. But behind the scenes, Neemias Queta says that Mazzulla has been nothing but supportive this offseason. Here's what he said. I spoke with him a couple of times, and he's always sending me messages of appreciation or love or me getting better, what he sees in me, what I need to improve on, and that's a great relationship that we have. I think EuroBasket was a good opportunity for me to evolve my game and get ready for the next season. I got rested enough this offseason, and I think I put myself in the best position to have a breakout season. I have the tools to compete with the best. Hell yeah. Fire me up, Neemias Queta. That is awesome. I love hearing that. And likewise with Joe Mazzulla having confidence in Queta, I love Queta equally for having confidence in himself. You need a guy like that who is 7'1", big, 300-pound body, and like he can't be a shell or shrivel up in those moments. He's got to have confidence in himself. He's got to have confidence in his ability, his frame, and the things and the tools that he's improved upon, especially this offseason, to be the Celtics center of the future. And that's what it looks like, at least for the season, which we know has a lot of uncertainty. The potential starting lineup for your C's looks like this. Peyton Pritchard, Derrick White, Jaylen Brown. Those three guys are, I would say, at least the White and Brown's case, in Sharpie. Peyton Pritchard, I would say that's in pencil for right now, but maybe you call it a colored pencil. It's really tough to erase because I do think he's going to be your starting point guard. Chris Boucher I have with a star next to his name because I think it'll be very dependent on the matchup for Boston, which way they go at that 4 spot. Small ball nights, where you're looking for more spacing, I would say Sam Hauser probably gets the nod at that 4, but don't be surprised if the Celtics open the season with the double big lineup of Chris Boucher and Neemias Queta. But I will say this about Queta, he's got to improve upon these numbers, man. Like, I know he only played 14 minutes a game last year, 62 appearances, the most of his NBA career by far to this point. So he's got to improve upon these numbers. It's got to be more than 5 points. It's got to be more than 4 rebounds. It's got to be probably more than a block a game. And the efficiencies have to remain around the same spot as well, even though the volume is going to increase with Neemias Queta. Here is how he breaks out from my point of view. Limit the foul trouble. That is something that Neemias Queta has been hampered by throughout his entire basketball career to this point. He just gets in too much foul trouble. And rightfully so. He's an elite shot blocker. He's going to go up and contest shots at the rim. But if he can limit those fouls and play longer stretches in this league, then that's just going to bode well and only increase his box score numbers. Improved floor spacing acumen. And this comes with just more reps, in my opinion, because Queta oftentimes finds himself maybe out of position on defense or out of position on offense, but, being with the starters, playing with these units more and more, and just getting more minutes out there on the floor is only going to help him in that regard. It also takes a good bit of coaching to improve in that area as well. Now, this is one that is also going to take coaching and reps too, because having a more familiarity with the shooters on this roster, Peyton Pritchard, Sam Hauser, Jaylen Brown, Derrick White, guys he didn't necessarily play a ton of minutes with over the course of his Celtics career so far. He's got to be able to rely upon those guys. And he's got to be able to know that they are going to be open and the positions that they're going to be on the perimeter for him to be able to kick out to those open shooters and get easy 3-point looks. That's something that he did better with as the season progressed last year, but he's still got to kind of refine that. Oh, I have the ball in the paint. I got to go up with it. No, that's not the case with Boston. Know where your shooters are and be able to kick out to them with some accurate passes. Now, speaking of having the ball in his hands, how about we make sure we catch the ball and we hold on to the ball? And this is pretty self-explanatory and kind of juvenile of a thing that Queta needs to break out, but like that is it's kind of what it boils down to. Queta is an around the rim player, so all he really needs to do, as he stands taller than most of the defenders, is bigger weight-wise than most of the defenders, is just catch the ball and don't lose the ball, because you're probably either going to get one of two things, a bucket or a foul. So like that is pretty much what it boils down to. As long as Neemias Queta limits his mistakes, then he's absolutely going to break out big time this year. And this is just a cherry on top. Can we hit a 15-footer or two? Can we step out and hit the elbow jumper? Can we maybe hit the top of the key three-pointer once in a while? Like, there is a possibility that Neemias Queta actually becomes a fairly refined offensive player. I saw it in the EuroBasket, not just from the three-pointers that I saw, but, I mean, even in some clutch situations before the half, he hits a fall-away jumper from the left elbow. Like, that doesn't happen overnight. So we'll see if he can refine those skills and be a little bit more of a polished offensive player. If he does these 5 things, then I think we could see a big season, man. My projection for 2025, 2026 is hovering around that 8 or 9 point a game mark, 7 or so rebounds a night, a little bit over a block a game, almost a block and a half a night, and then it's hovering around that same percentage that he's been around these past couple of years at 64% field goals. Hopefully that comes with a little bit more of a push shot game, a 10-footer, 15-footer jump shot. That would be awesome if Queta could develop that, but I'm not holding my breath. He still needs to refine the things that he does really, really well. I need you guys to do something for me right now. I need you to predict Neemias Queta's stat line for the 25-26 season like I just did down in the comment section. What do you guys think we're going to see from the Celtics starting center? I want to know down below. Next, we have another role on this Celtics team that is fairly uncertain, kind of like Neemias Queta's is. We know Queta's going to be the starter, but how much minutes is he actually going to play? Another Celtic is wearing the same thing. We'll tell you guys in just a moment, but first, get hooked up with this awesome deal. Jason Tatum shirts, they're on sale. I mean, how could you pass this up? You can wear this all year long. I know he won't be playing next season, but you take advantage of this deal right now. You'll get it back for when he is playing 100% healthy. I can't wait for that. Chatsports.com/Tatum shirt. That's chatsports.com/Tatum shirt to get yours today. That link's in the comment section and description of today's video. Alrighty, Derrick White. What is his role, right? And doesn't that sound kind of like a crazy question to be asking about Derrick White? We know a couple of things. He is going to obviously have the ball in his hands a little bit more this year, given Drew Holiday exiting the roster. That's just a given. He's going to have more of an offensive output, a higher volume of shots taken on a nightly basis because Jason Tatum is not playing this upcoming season. Those two things are a given. But as far as everything else goes, and what his role night to night will be, Derrick White's kind of confused about, or I guess I shouldn't say confused, but unsure of what he's going to look like on the Celtics this upcoming year. Here's what he had to say in his latest edition of his podcast. I don't know what my role is going to be game to game, and I kind of don't want to be like, oh, I have to do this. JT's out, so now I have to. I don't want to put myself in that mind. Obviously, I've been working hard and trying to figure out how I can get better, but I feel like if I put myself in that mindset, I'm just going to maybe press or do something that's not me. I've got to stay true to who I am, what makes me successful, so I don't know what the role is going to be. Whatever it might be, I'm just trying to compete. I'm trying to help us win as many games as possible, and I'm really excited. Look, Derrick White will have to play with a different role each night. I don't think it's going to be uniform. I don't think it's going to be Neemias Queta's role, hover around the basket, do your thing, block some shots, grab some rebounds. Like I don't. It's not going to be that for Derrick White. Obviously, he has to still do all the intangible things that he does well. But one night he's going to be playing off the ball a little bit more. One night he's going to be playing on the ball a little bit more. One night he's going to be focused on defense. One night he's going to be focused on, we need 30 from you, Derrick. Like, go get that yourself. Like, he has the ability to do all of those things, but it's never going to be a uniform scenario for Derrick White. Now, he said that I'm trying to help this team win games. If he wants to help this team win games, there does need to be a little bit more consistency from Derrick White, specifically from the outside. If the Boston Celtics actually want to be competitive and win games in 25-26, then Derrick White has to hit his outside jumpers with consistency. We know Derrick White is one of the best shooters in the NBA, but in 24-25, he was pretty hot and cold as the season progressed. In November, with 14 games played, he shot 40% from three-point range. In December, he shot 35% from three-point range. All right, we're getting a little bit lower there. Now January rolls around, we're shooting 32% from long range. Then February, we're shooting 46%, a blistering percentage as the calendar turned to the All-Star break. And then March comes around, he's shooting 35% again. And I will note in the 5 games in April and October, he was both shooting well over 40% in each one of those. So very inconsistent here, and we really cannot see a shooting slump like we saw in the months of December and January from Derrick White if the C's want to remain competitive and actually be a contender in the East next season. What do you guys think? You decide for me. Will Derrick White be an All-Star this upcoming year? Yes or no? Type Y for yes. Type N for no down in the comment section. Big season upcoming for Derrick White. A lot of responsibility on his plate. What do you guys think it's going to result in? Let me know. That'll be it for today's edition of Celtics Today by Chat Sports. Give me a follow over on Twitter at Tyler J. Smith. We'll be tweeting about the Celtics until the season begins and obviously the entire season as it unfolds. And make sure you are subscribed to the channel. It's youtube.com/Celtics TV. We're covering the season all off season long and into the regular season over there as well on YouTube. We'll see you guys in the next one. And as always, let's go Seas.